From now on, each lecturer will come and give you details of those toxicants or foodborne contaminants. And then towards the end, you now see prevention and control methods. But before then, let me introduce the first, the African Center of Excellence for Mycotoxin and Food Safety. And it will answer the 10th question. Isn't it? Okay. Our name is the African Center of Excellence for Mycotoxin and Food Safety, and is domiciled in the Federal University of Technology, Minna. This is the outline. This is the outline of my presentation, which is an overview of the foodborne contaminants. I will tell you who we are, the African Center of Excellence for Mycotoxin and Food Safety. Then I'll give you the major foodborne contaminants. And you will have food additives, mycotoxins, foodborne pathogens, some anti-nutrients in our food, pesticide residues, veterinary drug residues, toxic metals, and industrial toxins. These are major foodborne contaminants. So, to be good students, you better start writing now. So, this is the outline of my presentation. No, you will get it right through. Even this presentation at the end, we can even give it to you to go and, you know, if you have emails or something. Now, what is truly, how did this African Center of Excellence and Mycotoxin, how did it come about? The Nigerian government, please let's be quiet now. We're in the class now. The Nigerian government realized that the quality of postgraduate education in Nigeria has decreased. It's actually at a bottom level. And so she decided, when we were in the university, like I keep saying, if I arrived from my primary school, I attended an international class. You find yourself seated with white children, Indian children, right? But I can assure you, if I call any one of you now, I don't think you have sat with an international student, somebody from a different race. In secondary school, the same thing. In the university, we sat with white people, Indians, Chinese, and all that. That was in the old days. And I tell you, with diversity comes solution to many human problems. Because what you cannot solve as somebody from Isho, somebody from Alabama might have the solution to it naturally. Do you agree with me? So, most universities that are making it are the top ranking universities. They are diverse. They have different people and different races. And the quality of education is normally better in both teaching and staff. You discover that our Nigerian universities are not like that. They've lost it. So the Nigerian government decided, look, we need to go back to the high quality education we used to give. But we want to put some money in these universities. But it must be on a competitive basis. Grants proposal must be written and contested for. So the advert went out. 138 applications emanated from Nigerian universities, both private and public. Of these 138, they were subjected to what is known as desk evaluation, like marking. And from that marking, 40 were chosen. And those 40 were now sent to AAU, that is the Association of African Universities in Ghana. Right? Now they now visited us. They constituted teams of people from different parts of the world. The ones that
okay, hello students. We'll pass the attendance sheet. Please, I want you to note this. The attendance sheet you'll be writing your name on. There's a number on top by the left-hand corner. Can you see it? Yes. So not the number of sheets. If your own number is 3, not your serial number. Do you understand? I mean something like this. You see, if some might be 5, 10. So that tomorrow when you come, you don't have to write your name again. All you need to do is to sign on the day 2. So today you'll be writing your name, your gender, your email address, and phone number. Are you hearing me? Yes. Good. So all you need to do now, you just sign for day 1. Then tomorrow when you come, when the attendance sheet is being passed, when you see the number on it, if that's not the one you've written your name on it, don't worry yourself. The one you put your name on will come up. Do you understand? Then you can sign for day 2. Please, if you're confused, ask questions. Do you understand? Thank you.
So, 40 universities underwent what is known as on-site evaluation. And they constituted teams of people from different parts of the universe. The ones that came to FUT, the former Vice Chancellor, Portugal, another person from Zimbabwe, like that. They came and they evaluated us. So of that 40, 20 were chosen. After those 20 were chosen, they took them to Washington, D.C. That's the headquarters of the World Bank. And they evaluated, out of the 20, they chose 10. And we, that we are seeing here, were one of those 10 that were chosen to establish an African Center of Excellence. Our proposal was on food safety. So we got it. And that is why we now have an African Center of Excellence that is funded by both the World Bank and the federal government of Nigeria. It was a $6 million competition, and we got it. So this is the African Center of Excellence we have in the city. That is how it was established. Then, after its establishment, what is our vision? What do we want to achieve? We want to be a global food authority, safety training and research authority. That's our vision. We want to be an authority with regards to training and research in the area of food safety. That's one of the reasons why we're here. Training. Then, what is our mission? We want to create learning opportunities, research results that will address Africa's shortage of expertise and applicable solutions to ensure that a safe, controlled, and sufficient food supply that will support economic. We will not be concerned with the drugs and all that, but those that come to our food. Let's start with food allergens. The first group of food toxicants that I want us to look at are food allergens. There are situations you find somebody will go and eat fish, then the person has a swollen face, his face falls off, or he has itching, or she has itching. natural food that another person will eat and nothing will happen. So people will eat granola, and before you know it, you have them coughing, and then they get some allergic reactions, they get sick, boils or something, or they have diarrhea based on the food. But meanwhile, other people ate that same food and nothing happened. Exactly. Yes, I've seen people with goat meat. They eat goat meat and they react badly. Those now, as much as truly they are fine for others, you have some situation where some of these food now are allergic. Some people are allergic to it. We might not take it seriously because normally it will wear off. But there are some allergic reactions that could lead to lack of breath. And some people can die by just taking that food. Now, so let's look at foodborne food allergies, allergenic foods. Even from the picture you can see, most of them are proteinous and not. Tomatoes, orange, fish, all these, mostly proteinous food, they call allergic reaction. Look at this one. As if she comes out, you think she's so ill, some very harmful thing must have happened to her. But in the real sense, all she took was just something you take to and you didn't react to it. So food allergies. Look at this child. This child is looking very sick. Just because maybe he took milk or some nut which his mother or father would have taken and nothing happened and he saved for them. But all of a sudden he's sick. So these are foodborne. There are food intolerant situations where you eat food that are even safe, but for you they are not safe. And we need to catalog such food and tell people that when you get observed that when you eat this and you have an allergic reaction, then next time don't eat it and see. Then you eat it again and you have the same allergy, then you know you are supposed to avoid it. So we have the foodborne allergies. I don't want to bother you with the science, but these are the common foods that can cause allergenic reactions in human beings. Kami, egg, legumes, peanuts, soybeans, and even wheat. You have legumes, you have your shrimps, crabs, lobsters, you have your fish, you have your nuts, you also have egg, wheat. These are the commonest food that can cause allergic reactions in people. We didn't say these are all, but I tell you, if you have allergic reaction, try to go through what you have eaten. And when you eat it again, and you discover that, okay, it's just like one day we had a meeting and we were four, we went and ate the same food. When we went back, the next day in the morning, one of us had a swollen face. When we saw him, we were scared. He told us we shouldn't worry. He already knows he's allergic to tomatoes. But this time around, when we went to eat, he didn't bother about it. And you could really see that he couldn't work for 2 days. So know what to eat that is allergic, you are allergic to, and then you stop it. Now, we have seen the symptoms. Some of the symptoms, the very common ones is itching. You itch a lot, or eczema will come. The most dangerous one is this shortness of breath. You are not able to breathe well. You have a swollen throat, nasal obstruction, redness of eyes. You know, these are very common ones. Another very common one is your gastrointestinal tract. You go on diarrhea, cramps, vomiting, nausea, for eating food that is even safe for every other person but except for you. Then we have hypertension, shock, very dangerous situations now. And then so many others. Food-borne food allergies are also a problem to us with regards to food. Know the food you are allergic to and avoid it. Food additives. When we are growing up, in the late 60s and early 70s, there was no Maggi. Right? But with time, we now had industries creating things that will make our food look finer, taste better, and all that. We ended up with Maggi Cube, with very many things. It is true. Those things we add in our food can make them look better, more tastier, and all that. But we must be careful too. We must be careful about them. Because not all of them are very safe. And that is why the food scientists, food safety expert must ensure before a compound or substance is approved as a food additives, that thing must go to toxicological evaluation to ensure it is safe before it is introduced. So there are rules for food. There are many food additives in the world: anti-aging, antimicrobial, antioxidants. You women know lactic acid, all these. Yes, there are quite about 37 groups of food additives around the world that have been approved now. But the fact remains, there are some that are a problem. Monosodium glutamate, Ajinomoto. Every day now. In fact, our children have learned not to even eat tuwo again. They just go on and on. What Indomie and all that. That sachet that goes with the Indomie is made of monosodium glutamate. Monosodium glutamate have been researched on. Although there are many controversial issues about it, it is on record that toxicological evaluation has associated monosodium glutamate to damage of the brain of rats. That one is a stable thing. But you see, even when the scientists go now and talk with NAFDAC and all the places and all the other food regulatory agencies, and we agree that we should ban this thing from coming to Nigeria, like many other countries have done. All they will do, regulation cannot work. But we do these things, we must be very careful. You can see on this record that monosodium glutamate destroys the cell in brain and increases hypertension. Sodium benzoate, all these, you can see each of them with their effect. Is it not time for us to sit as a nation and agree we want to live healthily and remove this issue of corruption and get our laws right? So as much as we see these things, they also have their effect. And I will say again and again, if you still want to do your noodles, remove that sachet and throw it away and use another container and still have it. Because it is the monosodium glutamate that you end up putting that has the problem. Mycotoxins. We said define mycotoxins. What are mycotoxins? Have you ever left bread? Have you ever left bread and it went moldy? So fungi grew on it. You would have also left grains and they got moldy. You would have left quite a number of food crops and they got moldy. The molds are known as fungi, as they are known as fungi, right? The problem is not the growth of the fungi on the food crop. The fungi is not the problem. But that this fungi, while growing on the food crop, releases some harmful substances. Those harmful substances it releases, or compounds, are known as mycotoxins. So they are fungi toxins secreted in our food by fungi. That is the definition of mycotoxins. There are many of them, quite a number, in hundreds. But those that have very high agricultural and economic sins, trichotesins, zearalenone, those were the toxins you were supposed to list. Aflatoxins, ochratoxins, pimonicins, trichotesins, and zearalenone. You must not leave this program. These they cause. So these are your toxins. These are your fungi that produce the toxins. These fungi, look at the crops. Fungi contaminates. Now, normal crops are used to. Look at your maize, right? Coconuts, apple fruits, so many of these. There are so many of the crops we eat. Fungi grows on them and secretes these mycotoxins in them. If you will ever be asked, list mycotoxins, you must not forget aflatoxin. This one. You must 1970s. In some of the Southern African countries, there were a group of a village where they had a very high level of cancer, and it was eventually pinned down to this source. Let's go back home to Nigeria. In the early 90s, 1991, 9 children went for break, and they bought kuli from one woman in the bathroom. 9 of them children. By evening, they were all dead. Postmortem examination showed that they took a very high dose of acute level. That's for us. In Kenya, in 2014, they have entered the food banks. There was a high population of fungi and secretion of this aflatoxin. Kenya lost 250 people within that 1 month. Now we're having this flow. There must have entered some of our local banks. The grains, we want to be careful now. Because these things have found more than 500 people were hospitalized, and at the end they lost 100 of them. Now, apart from that, acute death, we're also having the case of liver cancer. And a child that is exposed to aflatoxin at chronic level will spread height as compared to those aflatoxin diets. You must not forget this toxin. After the content of aflatoxin in umbilical blood is we had to control which means we are not, don't look at it as something that is happening far away. Yeah. The next one is aflatoxin. Look what you know better. Look at this is very good. What it was an experiment that was proposed in lab I was in South Africa. A dose of aflatoxin to some pigs. And then they cause a lot of kidney problems. So this is associated with kidney okra toxin. The next one is fumonisin. Look at this horse. You can see some balance. Right? Oh, sorry, the roasted granule. You now roast, keep in bottles, and then the fungi grow. But the one that was the most permissible for eating is the boiled one. Because you boil and eat. So, that is it. Those are some of the things. But what am I trying to say? We have found it. And we're even saying that based on the level of this aflatoxin we have found in our guinea corn, it is high enough to cause up to 27,000 cancer cases annually in Nigeria. The amount we found in some guinea corn. Then some Americans have also found it in game for look at granules, maize, and all that. We need to be attentive to these things. Now, that is on the health aspect. It has economic problem, these aflatoxins and these mycotoxins. Because you know, like me and you know, we are the ones that send food to Europe. We send sorghum to Europe, that is guinea corn. We send maize to them. We send beans out. We send cocoa. We send a lot of agricultural products to Europe. And we make a lot of money out of it. But I tell you, we are not able to do that now. Because when they discover these toxins at high level, they will just destroy your crops. And nobody will compensate you. They will just destroy your crops. More than 25% of the crops in the world are being destroyed because of these mycotoxins. In the decade where Kofi Annan was the UN Secretary General, there was a time a Ghanaian was the Secretary General of United Nations. European Union, where we send most of our food, reduced the safe level of aflatoxin from 10 micrograms per kilogram to 4 micrograms per kilogram. Within that period, 9 countries, including Nigeria, lost $670 million every year. Kofi Annan wanted to fight for us, he did not succeed. Then again, when we kept sending our goods without reducing the level of these food contaminants, between 2007 to 2016, European Union banned Nigerian food crops. And because of that, we have lost more than 671 billion naira within that period. No wonder we are now very poor, isn't it? Imagine if every year we are getting 671 billion naira and we are able to manage it and not steal it and not allow the politicians steal it, we would have been better than this. So there is no doubt about it. So it means that these mycotoxins also have economic impact. We are losing money because of their presence in our food. Then again, we keep asking. You know, in Nigeria, we don't care about human lives. In fact, now in this country, they'll say bandits have killed 24. It has become numbers. They are numbers. Oh, you don't associate it. Oh, Hussein Babu was killed. Oh, Juan was killed. Oh, no, we don't. Because there are many. Life is very cheap. But truly, we must not get used to life being cheap. We shouldn't. I have a colleague in the university. If he hears, oh, this person has died, you see him shedding tears. Obviously. Even if the person is distantly, not really that he knows the person, but maybe he has seen him, he quickly sheds tears. I keep telling Nigeria, you won't behave like this guy. That's how you should respond to them. Not numbers. Oh, 42 Nigerians died. And so what? We are reacting wrongly. Because each life is a lot. There's a lot of loss. However, let us imagine we are going to cost, what is the price of a human being in Nigeria? What's the cost of a life in Nigeria? Have we ever cost the average cost of a Nigerian? Well, if we have not, the Americans have. In the 1980s, they will tell you the life of an American cost $144 million. One American. So, when an American was kidnapped, right? They will now look at it. How much will it cost us to go and save that person? If it's less than $444 million, they will go for it. That's how much they value life. How much do you cost? How much do you cost? Waziri? How much do you cost as a person? 1 million naira? What's something like that? My children said I cost just 10 million naira. So, foodborne pathogens. That's why you people are used to that. I'll not waste time there. There are many foodborne pathogens. Salmonella, typhoid, cholera, etc., etc. But we asked you that which one causes the highest leading cause of foodborne pathogens. And this is it. Staphylococcus. It's one that is linked then among these foodborne pathogens. You are used to all these E. coli, Salmonella, Bacillus, I will not go into them. I will also know of recent, Campylobacter is becoming a big problem, particularly with regards to our food in beaches. It was a problem in many countries, and then Listeria was also a problem of recent. Now, apart from foodborne pathogens, we also have a lot of pathogens from our fish and marine food. Many toxins from them. I'll fly through them because they'll be taken eventually. Okay? Then you also have anti-nutrients. In our food, you have alkaloids, all kinds of alkaloids that are associated to major public health concerns, and you find them in coffee, cocoa, tea, potatoes, eggplants, tomatoes. Then you have your allergens. They are all there for you. We have our cyanide. Cyanide in Gari, isn't it? And so many other toxicants. But let me quickly look at cyanide in Gari. Yes, we do a lot of things with Gari, all fermented and all that. Nigerian fufu, ateke in Ghana, chikwangu in Malawi, everything. Many countries, Brazil, we eat cassava. But obviously this cassava is associated also to a lot of death. When we were growing up, we also remember that there is bitter cassava and sweet one. That bitter cassava has very high level of cyanide. And there are situations where a family ate gari and they all died. Of course, cyanide was the reason for death. And what happens now is you need a better processing method to eliminate this cyanide from your cassava. Before, when they do gari, our mothers do gari, what do? They leave this thing for 5, 6, 7 days. These days we are in a hurry, 3 days. Definitely the cyanide content will increase. So this has been associated with quite a number of death because the cyanide competes with your oxygen in the body, and then you are being suffocated of oxygen and death results. So that's it on the cyanide. I can go on with that. Then, of course, I've talked about this Ajinomoto monosodium glutamate. There are other in their categories too that have their various level of effect. Now, because there are other many plant toxins, I'll just run over that. Let's not be very academic. Then, let's go to pesticide residue. It's one of the major food contaminants. It is good to farm. You will carry your pesticide and farms with herbicide and spray them. But most times, we are not mindful of the instruction. 10 mils in 1 liter. Our farmers will think they are wiser. Let me put more so that it will kill it faster. But these pesticides end up in the soil. And the crops will take them in. And they go into our grains. You will find them now in your grains, in your rice. Alright? Now, the problem with having them here is that, well, these are lists of some contaminants, pesticide residues that we have found in Nigeria. Now, what is the effect of these pesticides? By the time these pesticides enter our grains, it has carcinogenic effect, immune system, respiratory, nervous system, reproductive system, blood systems, all these are affected. You can ingest them via food. Some of the people applying can inhale it. They can have contact with your skin and it goes, and will have all these side effects. But it is also associated, depending on the level, abortion, stillbirth, premature birth, low weight birth, and even some developmental problems with the fetus. These are pesticide residues that are coming in from the ground because we spread them on the weed, then into the plants, and right through our food. Look at an example of a problem of pesticide residue. Look at this picture. Clearly, dermal problem that resulted in so much of this contact with the pesticide residue. Then we talk about entry into the system. Look at this. All due to these pesticides that are used on the farm and end up in the crops. Then, veterinary drug residue. All these will have people that will come and teach it for you, and you remember. I'm just giving an overview. Veterinary drug residue. Dr. Adam is here. He will take you guys, a veterinary doctor. But the whole idea about veterinary drug residue and the problem it causes is that you will see our parents, even ourselves, we have poultry, right? We are keeping animals. Then our animals get sick. Then the doctor will say, okay, we'll treat them with tetracycline, chloramphenicol, and they say the popular ones are these ones. Tetracycline and all that. They give your animal. Then you now discover your animal will not survive. You slaughter it and eat. Isn't it? Yes. Is it not also true that we have seen animals being treated and they are even having diarrhea? We are taking them to the slaughterhouse. They are under treatment. The problem with that is that that tetracycline has not left the body of the animal. So as you are eating the meat, you are also taking that tetracycline. Alright? You are also consuming that tetracycline because it's now embedded in the animal. As you can see, the different groups. What is the effect of this veterinary drug in your system that you are taking from the milk, you are taking from the meat, you are taking from all those animals? You can see them. They have been associated with cancer, immune suppression, teratogenicity, mutation, and all these hypersensitivity and all that. Hormonal disturbance. Because what you are supposed to have done is when an animal is treated, after the last dose, there is an allowance of days, I think between 4 to 7 days, that you should leave before that animal is slaughtered. That time, the drug would have gone out. But we do this, what we do. This is what we do. And then Dr. Adam will come and tell you that even these antibiotics you are taking from these animals, you develop antimicrobial resistance. You develop pathogens that become resistant to the antibiotics because you have been giving it doses in your system continuously. He will tell you better. So the veterinary drug residue is another major determinant. Then we have toxic metals. I said you should mention 5 major toxic metals. Number 1, you should have remembered lead, Kagara, Zamfara. There was a time lead entered water and many people died. Even in Kagara too. Lead. Yes. So you have lead, arsenic, mercury, chromium, all these metals, like this arsenic, it is one of the metals that is found in rice. Dr. Adiza here has led research groups that have found arsenic in our rice. It's a published work. And they have their side effects. Look at their side effects. Skin, lungs, for each of them. Look at the side effects of these toxic metals. And they are found in our food. We have this one, these toxic metals are also found in our food. Arsenic is found in rice, in lead, found in vegetables. We leave all these people doing illegal mining. They bring these toxic metals from under to the surface, and the crops will take them. And then we can see their side effects. Dr. Ajayi will come and tell you more on these toxic metals. But remember the 5 toxic metals. Lead, arsenic, mercury, cadmium, you can go on. I shouldn't bother you with this. I asked you about industrial processes, industrial toxins. Look at this. Is this in Nigeria? Even if it's not in Nigeria, it's a common site where we dump things, we dump batteries, plastics, what have you, near water sources. Alright? Look at this one. Where mechanics are, oil is spilled by the engine from all that. Well, look at this fowl. There's a fowl inside that place. Of course, he's picking some of these things. Then you have a visitor and you slaughtered. Then, of course, what you see, some toxins go into. Look at this. We all know that in our abattoir here, they are, when they are roasting goats, they use tires. That's a fact of life. These tires come with their own components, which we see. I'm just showing you the signs. Look at this. Look at this. Even mechanics, they grow far around. Right. Look at these guys. Yes, that one has laid egg. This one is finding egg. So, there are many toxins from these industrial processes that are pouring out from paint, engines, and all that. Look at them. Quite a number. Right? The very popular ones are these polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. The nitrosamines, when you are roasting meat or fish, the smoke that comes from the fire that now combines with the fat gives you the nitrosamines. So, there are a lot of toxins that are coming from these industrial processes, as we have said. Heterocyclic aromatic amines are one. Lipid oxidation products are one. Another. We can go on. Phenolic compounds are also there. Ethyl carbamate is another one. I'm just flying through it because you will treat that in detail. But I want to dwell on this one. Polychlorinated biphenyls. Polychlorinated biphenyls are those ones that are very common with those activities you have seen. The burning of tires, engine being brought down and things like that. Incinerators. There was a day about 3, 4, 5 years ago. I'm saying this because people are medical personnel. The incinerator in the general hospital. Right from, by the time you finish the climb from Boso up, as you are coming, you would have noticed that very thick smoke from the incinerator of the hospital. Have you just noticed that? In fact, I got so interested that I drove to that place and discovered it was coming from the general hospital. Incinerator from medical waste. Isn't it? Lord, what have you? Now these things go up, yes, as smoke, but they eventually settle down. And they will go into waters. They will go into our waters. Now, these polychlorinated biphenyls, let me tell you, these are some of the greatest, one of the biggest problems we're beginning to have. They are products of these things I'm saying. Incinerators, paints, buildings have collapsed, the paint is wearing off and it goes, and on and on. They have very dangerous effect. Liver disorder, failure of reproduction, risk of cancer, hormone system, suppressed immune system, carcinogenic effects, all because of these things we have done. Now, look at this man. This man, look at him. Nice looking man, but he's the same person here. He's the same person here. Gamma problems with regards to these industrial waste products. Clearly, after some years of working in the industry, and it is said that of 3 to 4 of them, out of 10, develop this gamma problem. Polychlorinated biphenyls. So we can go on and on. recipe are associated to half a million deaths every year. Pesticide residues are also associated to up to 400,000 people per year. Veterinary drug residues and their associated antimicrobial resistance are related to death of between 700,000 people to 2 million people every year. Foodborne pathogens, those ones, they are the common major food problem we have. Of course, most times we get over them, but then we end up having up to almost half million people dying because of it. We also have the problem of the biphenyl, with the human carcinogenic effects, as well as the cyanide in cassava is involved in quite a number of people. Billions of naira, billions and billions of dollars are going because of these major food toxicants in our food. And so, before I end the class, define food safety. Now, we're waiting for you. Okay, give me to your enemy. Give the microphone to any of your enemies.
Food safety. This is the routine in preparation, handling, and storage of food to prevent foodborne illnesses.
To
Prevent foodborne illnesses.
3 over 10. Give it to your enemy. Give it to your enemy.
What's the mic?
We're not hearing you.
Use the mic.
Food safety, the process of preparing and storing of food in order to prevent food poisoning.
Is it what?
It is the process of preparation and storing of food in order to prevent food poisoning.
4 over 10. Please take it. Take it to the center. Take it to the center. Quiet. Let's hear her. That what? 1 over 10. Okay, let's have the last question there. Okay, finally, let's have this one talk. I tried to find it.
Food safety is the use of technology practices to eradicate harmful toxins in our foods.
5 over 10. Let's not waste time. Now, first of all, food safety is a subject, right? So why don't we say food safety is the study of occurrence, right? And toxicology, occurrence, toxicology, and the prevention and control of food-borne organisms or pathogens, foodborne pathogens and chemical residue in our food. Something. What? Okay, food safety, like I said, is a subject. So that it therefore means it is the study of the occurrence, the toxic effect, and prevention of control of microbial and chemical harmful substances in our food. Something like that. You can regenerate your food. But what you are basically doing is you are studying these toxins. You want to know their toxicity. You want to generate methods and practices that will eliminate them or prevent our food from our food. It's different from food science. It's different from food toxicology. It's different from nutrition. However, all these subjects can be part of food safety. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.